Well, what's going on, everybody? This is your boy Luis, and as always, thanks for tuning in to another episode. If you guys have been watching the channel, and if you guys have been watching the recent episodes, you guys know that a recent partner of mine has been Colight, and they were the ones that supplied my front bar right here, and I've been loving that thing. But you know, they noticed that I had a couple of other lighting solutions for the truck, and they were like, "Hey, Luis, how about we send you something to control all those lights?" They had sent me an 8-gang switch panel to control all my lighting solutions on the truck. And in this video, we're gonna do an unboxing, we're gonna do an install, and we're gonna do a review of this 8-gang light panel from Colight. So let's get into it. All right, guys, so quick unboxing of this 8-gang switch panel from Colight. So this is basically what you get out of the box. You guys can see here, pretty nice packaging here, everything that you get. Like I said, I got the 8-gang. There is a 12-gang. So this is the 12-gang, this is the 8-gang. From the get-go, you're gonna get some instruction manuals. And as you guys can see here, everything's very nicely illustrated. You got instruction manuals, and you got everything that you need that you're gonna use to install it on any vehicle of your choice. Colors, it's a color printed manual, so it's in English. And like I said, there are many instructions on how to, where to mount, what corresponds to what. So this is nicely illustrated here. Now, out of the box too, you get a bunch of buttons that you could use for your specific setup. Like I said here, this is a quick overview, but you have tons and tons of options here for the type of buttons that you could be wiring up. So this is pretty cool. And like I said, the material on this is really nice. Yeah, so depending on your setup, you could use whatever you want. So that's very neat. You get a couple of stickers from Colight, and straight out of the box, you have a breaker. We have a 60 amp breaker that I'm pretty sure we're going to be using to wire up to the battery. We have the panel here. This is RGB backlit. There's a power on, there's a dimmer, and there's a RGB color button here, which is going to control basically the colors, I'm assuming. You have a couple of indicators over here on the small side, but we'll get those as we go on. And it looks like this is already on a panel or a bracket. So like I said, this is removable, and we're gonna get into it right now in a little bit, and I'm gonna show you guys why this is removable. But continue on with the unboxing. We have a USB-C to a USB cable. That's to power on the panel. We have some connectivity here, and I'm assuming this is gonna be for your accessory. Yep, so accessory cable here. And this is where all the connectivity is gonna go, guys. And yep, there you go. You have some extra fuses on the back side of the cover. And this is your whole fuse relay box, basically. You have your power, your ground connections that are going to be directly from the battery. You have 30 amp, 20 amp, 15 amp, and 10 amp connections on both sides. And as you guys can see here, you may be wondering what this antenna is for. Well, guys, this is for your Bluetooth connection. So, like I said, that panel is not directly connected to the relay board. That's because this has a Bluetooth connection that's gonna pair up with the relay box. Now, this is pretty cool because you don't have to run any wires inside the cabin. All your wiring is gonna be done under the hood or wherever you have your battery located, and your connection is gonna be through Bluetooth. So that's pretty cool. Another thing that's cool about that is that you could have this mounted in your truck anywhere. We're gonna figure out where we're gonna mount it. But you could take off the panel, and then you wanna walk away from the vehicle. And at that point, you push your buttons, whichever lights you wanna connect. via Bluetooth, and your lights will turn on. So we're gonna get more in depth about that later on. Like I said, quick unboxing. This is your relay. You have options to connect hardwired to your battery or your accessory. On top of that, underneath the relay board, we get some power cables for your ground and your power. You get your antenna, and then on top of that, you get a nice little screwdriver. Pretty nice of them to provide it. We get some hardware for all your mounting solutions. You get a fuse connection here. You get some zip ties. On top of that, you have your hard mounting brackets. This bracket here. So you have the bracket. And that will go like that. And underneath the phone box, we have your brackets to be able to mount your relay board under the hood. All in all, guys, very cool package. Everything laid out. This is everything that you're gonna need to install this on your truck. All right, everybody, so first we're gonna grab our little baggie with all of our hardware, and we're gonna mount the bracket to the back of the holder for the switch panel. We got a little bracket here. We got 4 Phillips screws. Next, we're gonna grab these 2 Allen bolts. We're gonna grab 2 washers. We're gonna grab the other bracket that looks like this. And this is gonna be mounted into here like this. We're gonna start this on this side. That's gonna go on like so. Grab the other side. Grab this like so. Now we're not gonna time these all the way yet because we gotta figure out where we're gonna mount it. But I think down here would be my best bet. Have it mounted right there. And I could take this piece of panel off and mount it there. But let me know how you guys would go about it. The reason is because if I need to charge it or anything like that, the USB-C is on this side. And I can still have access to the aux cables right there. I would love to mount it up here. This would be pretty cool, but like I said, I could do it because this is wireless and I won't have to run any wires to it, which I think is pretty cool. As you guys can see, this is very spongy material, and in order to mount this hard bracket, it's not gonna work. If not, I honestly would have mounted it right here because I think this looks pretty cool up here, centered in the middle. But first and foremost, let's remove both ends so we don't have anything live going to any wires, so we don't accidentally, you know, set something off. I don't have my old alarm, so that is gonna be removed. And I think the panel, I'm gonna install it right here. I'm gonna be removing this. All the wiring that is currently going into the truck is no longer gonna go in the truck because everything's gonna be controlled out here, which is amazing. I love that. But this is not specifically to your guys' build, but I'm not gonna bore you with this, but I'm gonna remove all my panels, the ones down there and the ones up here, because I gotta basically deroute anything that I've installed before. All right, everybody, so we have our little panel here that came off the bottom center. We have the bracket here that we're gonna be mounting. And I think that we're gonna be able to mount it. We're gonna be able to mount it like this. So we still have some strength going through the center piece right here in the middle. So I'm gonna keep it a little off-centered this way, so I have room for my auxiliary connections here. I'm gonna basically make sure that it's in line, perfectly leveled. All right, everyone, so as you guys can see, look how much junk I basically removed and how simple that relay box or switch panel is going to make things. So I've established this is my ground and power for my current alarm. So that's not going to go on the switch panel. That's going to go directly to the battery still. But basically, I have my power and ground for my bottom fog lights that go right there. And then I have my power and ground that go to the main light bar. So these are the only two that I need. And those, instead of going all inside the cabin or anything like that, they are all gonna go directly mounted to the switch panel under the hood. All right, so now we really gotta figure out where the heck we're gonna mount this thing. So exploring some ideas, I feel like this is gonna be my best bet as far as like being able to fit everything here. I think I will have to do some self-tapping screws up here, and then I'll be able to mount my panel down low like that. And I think that's safe enough, and I have plenty of room to be able to wire everything and to be able to get everything there without any issues. So I am gonna go ahead and do that. Another way to mount it is you also get a second bracket. And this bracket mounts up to like this, like that. And then you can also mount it flush against somewhere against a firewall or up under the belly somewhere, wherever you would like. So the good thing is that you have a couple of options to be able to mount this thing. So you have this bracket and you have this bracket. All right, everyone, so for the time being, I do have my negative and my positive wires routed. My breaker, my 60 amp breaker for the time being is gonna sit on top of the fuse box. I don't have a hard mount location for it yet because the wires that they did provide are a bit short. So that's one thing that I would say is a little negative about this, but other than that, everything connects pretty clean. I'm gonna begin to mount my basically 4 wires, and they're actually gonna go on my 5th and 6 connections. So are going to be my 30 amp, or actually my 6th and 7th connections, which is my 20 amp and my 15 amp connections on this side. So the only reason why I'm doing that is because I don't want to route them all the way over here. I want to keep these in case in the future I add more lights that go towards the back, like for example, or towards the bottom, for example, cargo lights or any lights that go on the hood or anything like that. Since both of my lights are in the front, it only makes sense to route them to these closest locations over here. So that's what I'm gonna do. So yeah guys, this is how everything's mounted so far. This is sturdy. I'm gonna begin to route my wires and I'm gonna show you guys the end result. All right everyone, as you guys can see here, I have my wires routed to basically the 20 amp and the 15 amp fuses. So these are good to go. They're not gonna go anywhere. So these are good to go. Or a couple things left to do is we're gonna wire up the antenna here. So this is the antenna that's gonna be used for the Bluetooth. So whenever we walk away from the vehicle and we take our switch panel with us, this will have a strong signal and we'll be able to access it once we're out of the vehicle. And as you see here, we have the option to run this via, like the switch panel could kick on via the accessory. So the only thing you got to do is basically wire up. This is an inline fuse. And then this other side, this just gets connected to this little switch right here. All right, might be hard to see, but yeah. And you have the option for it to either be kicked on by accessory or for it to be kicked on by just having constant battery. This is the only one that I actually had to go inside the cabin. So this one's going to accessory. And I have that one. It's gonna go to accessory. So 15 amp fuse inside. That's the top one right here. Yep. So we have that one properly wired now. So, all right guys, the only thing left to do is basically the antenna, and they give you enough loom to basically route it wherever you want to go. The manual does instruct, or they suggest doing it on the passenger side where the other antenna is. Now, one thing that is pretty cool is that this is actually magnetized. So if you guys can see here, it sticks. That does have a magnet. And they also provide a double-sided sticky tape that would perfectly fit on the bottom. Now, the only thing is that I don't want to mount this somewhere outside, just because the body lines on the Tacoma are pretty much rounded. So anywhere that I do mount it, it kind of sticks out like a sore thumb, and I kind of do not like that. So I think for the time being, I'm just gonna mount it somewhere against a firewall, kind of somewhere like this. And I'm gonna do it on this side. I think this will be the best bet. Since it's magnetized, I kind of don't have to worry about it going anywhere, and basically just route it to the bottom right here. All right, so that's mounted. It's mounted right there. But now, moment of truth, I'm gonna begin to connect all my leads to my battery, and we're gonna begin to test, guys. So this is exciting. All right, everyone, so moment of truth. Everything is wired up the way it should be. I'm gonna go ahead and flip this on. Fingers crossed. Okay. We got power. All right, so if you notice, if you have it switched on constantly on the battery side, that light is constantly gonna stay on and it's gonna drain your battery for sure, especially if you don't drive your truck for like a week or so. So I did not want that. So now, switch it over to the accessory side. And as you can see, it's off, right? Okay, so now, put our keys in the ignition. accessories on. Right, yep, okay. So now the light is on. So the light is on with the accessory. This is what I want, because if I take off the key off the ignition, I want this thing to turn off. All right, so like I said, I don't want anything, keys off, and I don't want anything to kill the battery. So everything's probably wired now, guys. So I'm excited about that. I'm just gonna begin to put everything together and put some stickers on the panel, and I'll show you guys how it works right now. We're not gonna be using some of these for the time being until I add more and more accessories. We're gonna put some blanks in there right now, but we are gonna use 7 and 6. 7 is our fog lights and 6 is our bar light. All right, everyone, so basically everything's buttoned up down here and up here. Everything's good to go, how it's going to be. I like how that turned out, pretty clean. So let me show you guys the features about this thing and why I'm excited about it. It's not connected right here, right? It has a power switch right here on the side. You turn that on. So now it's on. Accessories on, right? So you could walk away. You could walk away from the truck, and this is where things gets pretty cool. So now, all right, you could turn up the brightness on all these. So that's not connected, right? So we have our fog lights and our light bar, and this is gonna determine what works. So it's not connected, wireless. Oh yeah, we got our fog lights here, turned on. Now let's turn on our light bar. How cool is that? Don't mind the wires down there, I gotta button that up. But as you guys can see here, fog's off, light bar off. There you have it. Now you could change the colors on this thing. All right, so turn off the lights so you guys could see better. We could change the RGB lights to it. Blue, all kinds of colors. White, this is the color that I'm gonna go with because that's the color that I have inside. Orange, yellow, green, or you could have it so it turns on multiple colors. That's pretty cool. Red, yellow, green, different colors, right? Pink, white. Like I said, I think I would be going with white. You could turn it off completely and it'll still turn this on. Bam! You could adjust the brightness to this. So if you want to turn on and off the lights, also you could adjust the brightness, like I said. So this is the dimmest. This is the dimmest that it's going to go. And then you could just go up from there. So that's pretty cool, guys. All right, everybody, it's nighttime. We're gonna go to the same trails where I went the other day, where I did my little shakedown when I finished my CV axles. But we got the panel down installed over there, looking nice and white, I believe. I have the stereo head unit turned off right now just so it doesn't disturb any of the brightness. But yeah, I got the projector headlights, as you guys can see. It's looking good. All right, everyone, it's kind of hard to see, but those are the hills that we were climbing the other day. And basically this is just my projector headlights that I built for the first gen Tacoma. Turn them off, you guys can see here. All right, so we're gonna leave the lights off and we're gonna engage just the fog lights. All right, so that's just the fog lights. As you guys can see, it points more towards the sides, and that's kind of intentional, just because whenever I want to see more towards the sides. All right, so now we're gonna turn off the fogs, and now we're gonna turn on the light bar, the Colight light bar. Bam. As you guys can see, that's more direct ahead, and that's just the light bar. So now let's turn on the fogs as well. You guys can see the difference. And now we're gonna turn on our headlights as well. And you're gonna see it's gonna start to brighten up a little bit, but that's with all the lights turned on. All the lights are turned on, and I get really good view. All right, so now let's take off this control switch panel. All right, so this is the beauty about this, guys. You guys can see I'm away from the truck. Okay, now let's just say I'm helping someone out over here, and I'm like, hey, my headlights are not on. Turn on your fog lights. Bam, okay. That's still not enough. How about we turn on the light bar? Woo, baby. This is what's fantastic about this. I love this thing. There we go, and everything back off. Huge shout out also to Okinawa with these really cool LED tail lights. I love these things, and a lot of people have been asking me about them, and the link is always in the description. Use promo code LFATV for anything that you want to purchase. All right, everybody, there you have it, an unboxing, install, and review of this 8-gang RGB switch panel from Colight. If you guys are interested in any of these products, please click on the link down below in the description. And before you check out, remember, use code LFATV for a little discount on your whole purchase. So it don't matter if you're shopping for the light bar that I have installed on the Tacoma, or any fog lights, or this 8-gang or 12-gang switch panels. Feel free to check out their website on other products that they might have on their website. If you guys have some questions, any concerns, comments, or anything that you guys are interested in checking out or taking a look at, please comment down below, let me know, and stay tuned. Follow me on my social media at LFATV on Instagram, because I will be posting more about this stuff on there. So if you guys are interested, check it out. And as always, thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned for more adventures that I'm going to be taking in the Tacoma, and possibly on the other rig, the Sequoia. So if you guys are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. And as always, thank you for watching. Peace.